How's it going, everyone? It is Drake. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest, chapter 125, The Study Hall of Saber. The cover page for this chapter has Yukino and Angel on it, along with Frosh running after a rabbit, and that's the whole theme of this cover, is that it's Year of the Rabbit, and they're all dressed as rabbits. In the case of Yukino and Angel, they're in very revealing rabbit outfits. I always really like it when they do this stuff for holidays, and this one's a very fun holiday cover. Personally, my favorite thing on the cover is just Frosh chasing after that rabbit. Picking up with the actual chapter, we are at the Sabertooth Guild Hall, and we enter the Study Hall of Saber, which, gosh dang, that is a big library. Like, when they were saying they had a big library, like, they were not kidding. I love that immediately you get Lucy freaking out like, oh my goodness, this is the best library I've ever been to in my whole life. I still find it absolutely hilarious that they have this giant library and then Sting just straight up admits that, like, yeah, I don't like read anything in here, and like Frosh doesn't either. Like, Sting's really hyping his library up by saying, like, you know, we got books from like every continent in the world, which my response would have been totally what Gray and Urza are saying, like, you have so many books here, how are we even possibly gonna find what we need in all of this? Which Sabertooth has is absolutely figured out, because they have a Lacrima that you can just type in search terms, so basically Google, and it would find the book that you're looking for. The first time I saw this, I didn't see it in English yet, so I didn't know what Natsu was doing here, but this is single-handedly like my favorite part of this chapter. So Natsu immediately goes up to it and he's typing in on the Lacrima, and Happy's just behind him like, yeah, let's find a book on fish. So Natsu finishes his search and the book comes flying straight at Natsu, and that book turned out to be the book that Lucy wrote, which he is so excited to have Lucy's book in his hands. And turns out Natsu hasn't even read Lucy's book. You know, she's like trying to act embarrassed, like, oh no, they have my book here, but secretly, like, Lucy's like, yes, they have my book. Happy is absolutely obsessed with the whole fish thing here, which has Minerva step in and basically has her explain what keyword searches are. It's just kind of baffling to me, because I almost didn't think that you're gonna get like them almost explaining like how you Google something, you know? So she searches fish for Happy. I love that Happy is like thinking he's gonna get an actual fish. Carla's just in the background like, is this cat stupid? Because like, he knows their books, right? You get Minerva explaining keyword searches a bit more, and, you know, like maybe add additional details to your search so your search range isn't too broad. I love that Natsu thinks it's all a game, like, yeah, this is gonna be so fun. Meanwhile, you have Gray doing searches basically about Juvia, like how to treat a woman, Rain Woman, and I'm being hit on. I love that Wendy's watching him as well, and she's like, what are you looking for, Gray? And while they're being very rowdy in the library, you get someone in the library not very thrilled with them, telling them all to shut up. And that person ends up being Angel, which pretty darn subtle way of showing that she joined Sabertooth, because they don't even say it immediately that she joined Sabertooth. You just get the guild mark on her, which Yukino and Lucy are quite excited to see Angel once again. This is an interaction I didn't really entirely think about, but now that we got it, I was like, oh yeah, that's good. You get Angel telling Gray that, like, you're in a library, so like act like you're in a library. And Gray's just like, you know, you're gonna scold me, but you gotta do something about your outfit. Meanwhile, Gray himself is stripped. You get Happy in the background saying to him, like, you know, you're stripped too, Gray. Kind of fun that she's trying to make her own rules, and like Sting isn't having it, because she's like, well, you're free to use the study however you like. And Sting's like, nope, that's not how it works. You do not decide this. So up until this point, they haven't mentioned Jalal, and that was the whole stipulation of them being able to use this library, is that they need to have Jalal with them. And that person that actually requested him was Angel, which I honestly didn't really fully think about when that chapter came out, that she could have potentially joined Sabretooth and she's the reason why they're asking for Jalal, which Urza replies to her saying that Jalal should be on his way here. And she puts 2 and 2 together. Jalal and Angel used to be in a guild together. And yes, she is the one that put in the request for Jalal. Urza must be feeling like she's like the third wheel in this situation, because she's like, you didn't have to go through me to like message Jalal if you needed him. Which whatever she has to say involves Fairy Tail as well. So that's why she called for both. So Urza is going to split from everyone else while they continue searching for the Dragon God books. And Urza is going to go have this great conversation with everyone else, which segues into another one of my favorite moments from this chapter, which you get Sting turning to everyone like saying, hey, don't make a mess of the place, and that goes especially for you, Natsu. And when he looks at Natsu's just on the ground, coloring in a bunch of books and making scribbles all over the place, which I love that he thinks that he's not doing anything wrong. Like, how dare you insult me by thinking I would make a mess of the place? Who do you think I am? Which actually, if you zoom in on his drawings, you get to see like a book that says Natsu. You get to see him drawing Urza. He drew a Happy. He drew Plu. A few of the drawings, I can't really tell what they're fully supposed to be, but I just find it absolutely hilarious that he just decided to go color, which I didn't really think that Natsu would be the type to go color. I mean, I know he does the pranks on people when they're sleeping on coloring on their faces, but like I wouldn't be thinking that Natsu is the type to color in a book, you know? You get Rogue, Minerva, and Frosh staying behind with the rest of Fairy Tail to help them in their search and to make sure that they're not being too rowdy. Meanwhile, you get Sting, Angel, Jalal, and Urza going off to do their own thing. They're having a nice tea, and Urza's having a strawberry cake. Angel is pretty much the fandom here because she's like, oh, you two really like each other. Why don't you get married already and have kids? Jalal and Urza equally at the same time like defend it like, no, we are not that. Don't you say that. We're totally not a couple, even though most of the time we do kind of coupley things. Which in a single panel you just set up another ship with Angel asking Sting to go out with her, which he is so unfazed by this because he's just like, quit joking already. And Urza and Jalal are like, we're totally not dating. It's not like that between us. Angel 100% knows how these relationships are working, because she says to him, so you like Yukino then? Or maybe Minerva? And he's just completely unfazed by this. He isn't even caring about what she's saying at all. Jalal's just straight to the point because he's like, let's get down to business. Angel's just thinking that like he has a ton of free time now and that like he's just doing random things, which segues into basically a recap of the previous arcs with the whole white wizard thing, which you get Jalal explaining the whole situation on how she joined Fairy Tail and caused the whole white mage stuff, how at a certain point she got separated and the whole white mage wasn't actually the white mage and she was a girl named Ferris and also an Exceed, and how they were trying to save another world that was overflowing with magic power, and you had the whole Silene situation happen. And as he's explaining all this, he says that she was the top of a organization named Rebellious, and that immediately was a keyword for Angel. She's like, that's it. They're putting the White Wizard on par with Zareth, saying that they would be even a rival to him, and that Angel knows where she is. Jalal's just like, well, you know, with the whole Ferris situation that happened, the real version of the White Wizard, she's not like actively out there, you know, using her powers, so she shouldn't be that much of a problem. Gosh dang, Angel offends easily because she just hits the maximum pout face, with her being super excited that she got some intel, and she's pretty darn sassy when like everyone isn't giving her the reaction that she wanted. You get Jalal apologizing to her, and she's still pretty darn sassy about it. And Urza just is not having it, because she's like, good grief, the least we can do is just listen to her. And that got her in an even more foul mood, because she's like, listen, don't act so high and mighty with me, because now I'm not going to tell you. Which Jalal's just like, come on, we're sorry, please tell us. And Angel's just going to sweeten the deal because she adds an extra tidbit of information, saying that this white wizard that they're looking for, she's in an alchemy guild named Gold Owl, which that immediately rings a bell with Urza since they just fought a few members from that guild. I mean, Urza just straight up says that they've had history with Gold Owl before. And Angel adds that Gold Owl would be where you're gonna find the leader to the White Wizard's cult, that being the White Wizard herself, Athena, which immediately is a red flag for Urza because she said the word Athena and they're looking for a weapon named Athena. And Urza calls this out and Angel says, yeah, she is a weapon. Athena is both the White Wizard and a weapon. She's a doll made with alchemy. And we pick up with God Serene coming back from his mission, which went pretty poorly for him, running into the Sinaro sisters, which they have completely opposite personalities of each other, kind of a demon aesthetic going with them, which one of the sisters is very much not a fan of God Serene, with him being a wizard in an alchemy guild, which you get more clarification about Athena, that she is a wizard, but she was made from alchemy, which you get one of the sisters threatening to kill God Serene because he failed his mission, and he's just in the background freaking out. And you get a silhouetted figure saying, you know, don't do that, you know, everything is required to complete Athena, and he's one of those things that is needed. And the shadowy figure is revealed to be the Gold Owl Master with the name Duke Barbaroa. I hope I said that last name right. With him saying that once Athena has been completed, all 5 dragon gods will become my servants. And that is the end of our chapter, so my thoughts. I really liked all the library stuff, particularly what was going on with Lucy and Natsu. Both their moments were very fun, and I thought like Natsu searching for Lucy's book was very sweet. I love that Gray was like searching terms on basically how to communicate with Juvia. Otherwise, you get a lot of big reveals with Athena and the Gold Owl Guild, because those are pretty much all going to be adversaries for us in the future. But God Serene absolutely wrecked Gagiel, so like who on like Team Fairy Tail could even potentially stand to beat him unless if they team up? Which from the last arc, God Serene basically even admitted that, you know, he's pretty darn powerful, but like people in the Gold Owl Guild like make him look like a punk, which I also kind of feel like we need an arc like that, kind of similar to Tartaros in a way, to where you have the main group feel a lot of pain, and these battles are not easy because these are really strong opponents. You could potentially get Diablos joining in to fight them because their whole goal was to go hunt down Athena, which Athena turned out to be a robot that's part of that guild. So far for me, I'm fine with pretty much the looks of everyone in the Gold Owl Guild. I think their master's pretty darn interesting, his design, and the sisters. It remains to be seen what they need to do to power up Athena, and like what is her current powers that she can use right now if she's not at full power, or even like what percent of power is she at, and if she achieves full power, like what is it that she ultimately unlocks. So what do you guys think of the chapter? Leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.